Today I'm about to do a lesson on Adam and Eve. How Adam and Eve had parents. Yeah, Adam and Eve were not the first man and woman. They had parents. The first man and woman were really irrelevant because they wasn't the ones that was chosen by the Most High. But there were multiple men and multiple women before them that were created by different gods to repopulate the earth. We will prove this with the beginning of creation. After the earth and the universe was created, the first thing that were created were the animals and sea creatures. Both came from water. So all life started from the waters, birds included. Genesis 1 and 20 through 21. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and fowls that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." That's like the ozone layer. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly. So every living creature came from the water after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. So it was making their own race of animals and all their own breeds over and over. And every winged fowl after his kind, and God saw that it was good. So we're seeing that. Now we're gonna go on to Genesis 1:22. Then after then afterwards he created the first first of all these different animals, and then he told them to be fruitful and multiply. To be fruitful and to multiply just means to have babies. So they had babies and they started repopulating with their own kind. Genesis 1:22. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowls multiply in the earth." So all the animals were basically just getting it in until they repopulated the waters and the lands and the earth. Genesis 23:25 will further explain it. "And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon earth." So nothing evolved into another animal. Every animal was born from his own kind. And when they mate, they create their own kind. The same way that a man is going to create another man, a bird is going to create another bird, a fish is going to create another fish. A fish is not going to turn into no human being. I don't know how the white man tricked the whole world into believing that dumb shit, but scriptures make more and more sense than their so-called science, which is really not science. It's just evolution theories, and theories can be made up all day. Now, the most powerful God told the other angels, the other gods, to make man in their image. So in this sense, like, there's like three different types of angels. There's the celestial angels, which would be considered gods. There's us, which were the mortal gods, and then there was Adam and Eve, which is we gonna be like them again, which was gods that were made flesh. So spiritual form is more like a celestial, universal galaxy-like, I don't know, spiritual-like state. The one that you can't see, but controls everything, creating stars. And then you have the physical gods, which were immortal men with flesh that felt and looked like us, but they were immortal. But before all that, there was just regular men that was created. And you about to see that when God gave the instructions to create the other men, he said, "Let us make man in our image." So it was other gods around that time. that was creating men. And then they created men and women. And they were told to be fruitful. Look. So the gods basically created men to look like them. So if you ever wonder what a celestial beings look like, they look humanoid, kind of like us. They look like men, or men look like them. And God said, let us make men in our image, after our likeness. So we look like them. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the earth, of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So all the insects. And God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. This is before Adam and Eve is even mentioned. So there was men and women before Adam and Eve were even around. As you can see, this is before anything about a rib is even spoken of. So, what were the instructions for these men and women? What was God's instruction for these men and women after he created them? Well, we about to find out. His instructions were the same thing as those animals. Genesis 1:28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. So there was men and women on the earth having babies to repopulate the planet before Adam and Eve was even around. And replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves. So men were created to rule over all animals. Actually, everything on this planet. So the instructions for those men and women were to repopulate the earth. So Adam and Eve clearly had to have parents, because there were other men and women, until they eventually gave birth to Adam and Eve. Right? So let's go down. That kind of get to the point, but we're gonna go a little further. Genesis 1:29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of tree yielding seed to you, it shall be for meat. So what people don't even know is plants and fruit are actually meat. Anything that's meant to nourish your body is actually meat. That's what meat is. Meat is not an animal. If anything, an animal is just a type of meat. And depending on what animal it is, it might not even be meat. Like pig is not meat because it doesn't benefit your body at all. Crab is not meat because it really doesn't benefit your body at all. Shrimp is not meat because it's not meant to benefit your body at all. None of these things heal you, brings real nourishment. If anything, those things break down your body. So it's not food in the first thing. Meat is actually just food. And to every beast of the earth, this is going 30, Genesis 30, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, whereupon there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. So all plants that you can eat is meat. Everything that is a herb is meat. Herbs is meat. Poison ivy, no. So now we about to go to Genesis 1:31. God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. So now everything now like all of this happened before the 6th day. So after the 7th day is when God rested and Adam was mentioned. But all of this was before the 6th day. 7th day haven't even came yet. So on the 6th day, he watching all of his creation, right? So now everything is working on autopilot, like a machine producing mass cars. You know what I'm saying? He don't gotta do nothing no more. Them his creations is creating itself. You know. Then on the sixth day, he pretty much kicked back. He didn't really relax. He didn't go to sleep yet, but he just observed and was like, okay, that's good. Everything is working in order. So he examined everything and was like, okay, everything's working as intended. Like kind of like a scientist that just got done finishing the experiment. He's like, okay, let me test, you know what I'm saying, my inventions. Boom, all right, they're working. All right. So then on the seventh day, he rested. So after he finished his inventions and he invented mankind, humanity, the animals, and everything's just working on autopilot. He don't need to work on the cars no more. The cars can just, the machine for his cars, can pretty much mass produce themselves. He got cars and make more cars, and basically, like metaphor for man. Then he just sit back, relax, and rest. But he's a fair God, so since he rested on that seventh day, he made that seventh day the day of rest for us as well. So we supposed to rest on the seventh day. And we're not supposed to cook or do anything on the day. As a matter of fact, you're not even supposed to work on the seventh day of the week. And we prove that in Genesis 2 and 3. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his works which God created and made. So now that's the end of creation. Your first men and women were pretty much irrelevant because they wasn't chosen by God. They were still kind of like a little different than how he wanted Adam and Eve to be. So Adam and Eve's parents are not really mentioned because they kind of irrelevant. They wasn't gods, or they wasn't even chosen to be gods. Um, Adam and Eve were just two special individuals out of the flock, already chosen. As you can see, generations passed before Adam and Eve, and